it's Joanne. Today's teen craft class is another special craft. It's going to be for Father's Day. We made the Frida Kahlo flower pots for Mother's Day. We're going to do something equally lovely today for our dads. So what you're going to need is a mug because we're going to be making Sharpie mugs. And it's really cool. It's a very simple craft, but they can look really, really nice. I'm just going to show you a couple of basic designs that you can use. But you can, you could put dad on there or a heart or I love dad. You could put your initials, his initials. You could just do your own creative design. It's entirely up to you. So you'll need a mug, and I've got a white one because the colors will stand out nicely on a white mug. But you could use any light colored mug, just as long as those Sharpies or permanent markers are going to stand out. You'll also need some tape or some stickers. If you have templates, like the sticky templates that you can get from Joann's, feel free to use those too. And you'll need a selection of different colored Sharpies. I only have a few colors because I left them at work, but as usual, we are making do with what we have. You'll also probably need some scissors to cut your tape. And if you make a mistake, it's really easy to fix. You just need some alcohol, any, 70%, 90%, doesn't matter. And probably the best way to get rid of any little mistakes are going to be Q-tips. Okay, so that is pretty much it. We'll go ahead and get started. You can follow along, and as I said, just be creative. This is for that special man in your life, and we're going to make him something really lovely. Okay, so the first design we're going to make today, just because it's actually one of the easiest, is a heart. So you'll need to grab some tape. Painter's tape or similar is going to be the best to use. It's just easy to peel back off after you've created your design. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of tape. And mine's pretty thick, so you may have to cut it into smaller pieces. So that's why you'll need those scissors. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Oops. There we go. And of course it is sticky tape, so, it's probably going to stick to your scissors. That is okay. Not a big deal. Okay, so just put one aside. And then to make that heart, we're just going to kind of find the center of our cup. And we're just going to make a basic heart design using that first piece of tape. And you can make it small, you can make it big. This one is entirely up to you. So I'm just going to cut that for a moment. Right. Okay, so that's our first part of the heart. Put that aside, do the other side. Oop. There we go. Right now it's just looking like a V. We're going to continue on. I've got the V here, just making a basic heart shape. Again, it does not have to be perfect. It probably won't be, especially if you're anything like me. But you can see I'm doing the best I can with this tape. If I had a stencil or if I had vinyl, sticky vinyl that I could put on here, it would be much easier. But I am using what I have at home. So, continue making that little heart shape. And you can, if it's not quite right, this one is not quite right, you can easily take it off and start again. Not a biggie. Okay. All right. Okay, so again, not perfect, but it is going to do. It will actually look fine once you add those little marker shapes. So again, this is just a very basic tape heart. It's not sticking very well, but that's okay too. Just hold it down. And I am just going to take my Sharpie, and I'm using red here because, it's a heart. So I'm actually going to just use one color. You can use whatever colors you like. You can use multiple colors. But for this one, kind of like a Valentine's heart, I'm just going to use red. So all you're going to do is just start dotting wherever you would like. You just want to make as many dots as possible, and you're just going to follow the outline of the heart that you have created, or as I said, whichever design you have created. Okay, so you're just going to keep adding lots and lots of little tiny dots all over. Just fill it up. And some people, when they're doing the heart design, actually completely enclose the heart so that you're only doing the outside. That looks really cool too. I just kind of like the idea of having a heart in the middle of a heart, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment when I take it off. Okay, so again, we're just gonna fill that in with as many dots as we can. And you can add some afterwards if you notice that there's a little, space where there aren't as many dots, or it doesn't look quite right. You can just add it in. Not a big deal. Okay, so we're gonna start. We've done the inside now. We're gonna add some hearts around the edges of our tape. Again, just see how quickly this is. It can look so cool, and it's such an easy little thing to do. And you could fill up the entire cup if you wanted. I'm not going to do that today just because it takes quite a lot of time, but it definitely looks really, really nice if you do that. So again, I'm just going to put as many dots. Doesn't matter if it goes on the tape, of course, because we'll be taking that off. And there's no rhyme or reason to my dots. As you can see, they're pretty random. So we got looking pretty good. Okay, we're just going to continue round. Now I do like to kind of make, kind of border design. And again, we're just filling in lots and lots of teeny tiny dots. If you wanted to be really creative, you don't even have to use dots. You could actually make little hearts around the cup. I think that would look really cool. That actually would be a really cool Valentine's gift. But it does take a lot more effort, so the dots are simpler. You do what you prefer. Okay. See, it goes really quickly. Just as long as you remember that you don't have to be a perfectionist. Okay, and then you can kind of take a look at it, and at this point you can say, okay, well I'm going to fill in some more dots at the top just so it looks a little less spotty. Actually, probably a little more spotty, right? Okay, just at the top there. Okay, and maybe a couple here. So again, you'll just kind of look at it and say, okay, I like the look of this, but I think there needs to be a few more dots in this area. I'll put a few more in here. All right, I think we are almost done. Okay, so that is the first design, and you can see it is super, super easy. The way to really show it off, of course, is to take off the tape that you put on. You probably want to make sure that the Sharpie is dry. You don't want it to smudge. But you can see you've got your basic little heart outline there, and then of course you've got that little heart in the middle too. Looks super cute. And there we go. That is the first design. Very easy, very simple, but looks super nice. So the second design is going to be the word dad. So we're just going to, again, kind of find the center of the cup. I'm just using the back here, but you could use a new cup or just choose one design. It's up to you. I'm just going to write dad, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm using tape that is not curved, so I'm going to have to kind of curve it myself a little bit. Oops. And whoop. It's a little tricky. You can do it. Alright. Again, not perfect. That's okay. That's our first letter, B. Okay, I think that A is going to be a little easier. I would hope. Go. Yes, definitely a little easier. That little piece. Okay. And the final B. Okay, so I have got the tape in place, just saying dead. Okay, again, not perfect, doesn't have to be. It's gonna look great. And I'm gonna use two different colors here. Again, it would be nice if I had lots of colors with me, but I do not. So I'm just gonna use a green and red. And we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the heart. We're just gonna go ahead and start dotting outline. And again, just use as many dots as you would like. Put some red in there. And I can already see that I'm going to have to go back and clean up a little bit. It seems to have smudged, but I will show you how to do that. It's very, very simple. Okay, so as many dots as you want. Of course, red and green kind of looking like a little Christmas mug. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and continue on the outside. As many dots as you would like. All right, and some over here. Okay, and I'm going to add some more green, just like this. My green is not behaving very well, but that's okay. Just fill it up as much as you want. Okay, just like that. Okay, all the way around. And then if you, as I said on the heart design, if you want to just make it look a little neater, you can kind of create a kind of border, I guess. It's entirely up to you. Over some of these that didn't really work. Dots. I'm going to stop there, but you can see that there's a lot of dots. And you're just going to go ahead and continue and fill out more dots all around the A and the second D. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Okay, and I'm almost done here. So I'm just going to continue adding additional dots around that final D. Just like this, as many as you want. Wherever you see a space, add a dot. Alright, I think that's pretty good. And like I said, if you want to kind of neaten it up around the edges, you can. Okay, but as you can see, that is a ton of dots. Okay, and again, we want to kind of let it rest for a little, just to make sure that it's not going to smudge. But this is already dried, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Just like this, very easy. And I'll show you what I meant about that little smudge. You can probably see it right there. There's a little smudge. You can just take a Q-tip, which I will do right now, and using your alcohol, pop that in there. Not too much. You don't want it to drip and smudge everything else. I'm just going to very gently rub around, and then immediately with the other end that does not have alcohol, I'll just kind of dry it up. So very, very careful, and then take out the smudge. And if you take out the entire dot, that's okay. You can just redot it, not a biggie. All right. So anytime if you want, if you have the patience and you want to just make it look non-smudgy, this is the way to do it. I'm not going to do too much here. So let's continue taking off that tape. There we go. Comes off really easily. I think I probably have a few more smudges here. Yep. So I'll just take that off. Just like that. Very easy. And then that final D spell. Couple more smudges. Only tiny. And I think I'm going to put in a couple more dots in there. So this is the point, once you've taken that tape off and you think, okay, there's a little gap, I want to add an extra dot, this would be the time to do it. Put it in like that. So there we have the design. It simply says, Dad, you can fill in any extra spaces that you see. But for now, it looks really nice. It's very simple, and most people have these supplies at home. The way to make sure that this does not run is you're going to have to cure it. And the way to do that is you're just going to preheat your oven to 350. And while it is preheating, so while the oven is still cold at this point and getting warmer, you're going to put your mug in there until it reaches 350. You'll leave it in for 30 minutes. And then with an adult or using baking gloves or oven mitts, whatever you want to call them, you'll just take this mug out and let it sit until it's cool enough. And that should do it. I would still make sure that this is only hand washed gently with a little bit of soap. Don't put it in the dishwasher. You don't want to have all your hard work ruined in one dishwashing incident. So yeah, just a little bit of soap and water and this should be good. All right, well I hope this is giving you some ideas for your dad's present, and we will be back soon. Okay.